The Outdoor Show. It's the program that puts you into the peaceful and beautiful home of Mother Nature. It moves you back to that calm fishing pond up north, one step away from Lake Michigan, or into your hunting blind on a brisk fall morning. The Outdoor Show. It's a peaceful program. This is not your mother's outdoor show. This is the WHTC Outdoor Show, hosted by a guy who literally has hunting in his name. Tom Meddendorp is Dutch for Village in the Maiden, or King's Hunting Ground. Your co-host, sometimes, is Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery. It's time for what really happens when the guys go up north on that hunting trip. It's time for the WHTC Outdoor Show, presented by My Firearms ETS. That's MI Firearms ETS on 1450 WHTC, Holland's news leader.
Good morning. Welcome to the Outdoor Show. I'm Tom Meddendorp. My co-host, Captain Tim Becker of Powderhorn Guns and Archery, is here with me today.
Whoops.
and his phone's ringing. His eyes get big and he goes, whoops.
Yep.
So, Timmy, where you been? We had to record a couple of weeks because you were gone.
Yeah.
What were you
Because
doing?
I was gone?
Yeah,
Were we gone? Don't try to lay this blame on Daddy over here.
Hey, I sat and listened to the show.
No, I was
here.
Caitlin was here.
You're welcome that we did such a good job pre-recording, too, that you could just hit a button.
Yeah.
This
A little
is
easier
true.
than having us here and ripping on you, huh?
Right.
No, last Saturday was the opener of Duck. I decided to go give that a whirl on my own. The other blinds were full. So I went to one of my deer hunting spots, and there's a pond down there that's had some wood ducks on it. And it ended up to be real good. I shot my limit in less than, I would say, almost about 5 minutes.
What was amazing is that
That I hit them?
no, that you had pictures to prove your story.
I know. Did you see the picture with me in the canoe? I figured,
I did.
honestly, I took that picture for you. I know how much you canoe and you like that. And I actually said to Marvin where I hunt, I said, take this picture.
Take this picture. I got to show Tom.
Yep. So, yeah, that was
That was a quick hunt.
that was a very fun morning. And I must have had 100 to 150 birds dump in.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I wish I had 5-6 guys with. That would have been a blast.
So you had trouble finding any friends to go with you?
I have trouble finding friends. You know this. Yeah.
So you went duck hunting.
Yep. I went duck hunting last week.
What were you doing this week? You were hunting something this week?
Yeah. Well, then Sunday I went up north with my son. I had a wedding Saturday. Yep. So that's why I wasn't up north. And then Sunday I took my son up north, and we were going to hunt, but then we ended up just doing, prep work. Part of owning, being at a deer camp, not owning, but being at a deer camp, there's always work. So we were going to go sit, but then we started having so much fun just doing work and getting blinds ready and whatnot that I turned around and it was 6:30. I said, oh, we're not going to hunt tonight. So we did that. And then Monday night, I went back up with another guy that hunts up there, Tim Wieringa.
Right.
We went up there and we built 2 wheelchair accessible ramps going up to the cabin. One going up to the cabin, and then we got one up to somebody's deer blind so they didn't have to quit hunting. And we did that. We did a little bit of hunting. Still pretty tough to see deer moving around my area. It's like they're in that October lull. They've kind of shut down by me.
Or they know you're there.
I could smell. This could happen.
So, well, there's plenty of opportunity right now to get out hunting. We got small game is in swing, full swing for hunting. Many of us are waiting for the snow to fall to drop some of the weeds down so that we can see what's going on.
Yep.
Down out low on the ground. When you're talking rabbits and stuff,
Yeah.
and the squirrels are up in the trees and
Boy, are they dumping up north. All the weeds and the ferns.
falling over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 90% down. But the color up north is, I think this weekend, if you have time, go for the color tour. It's going to be just perfect up north. And you know
Really?
what? I don't know if I'm just getting older or something, This is the first year I've really, you always look and you say, oh, yeah, that's a pretty looking tree. This is the first year I've noticed the whole area, that it's more than just there's a red leaf, a yellow one. It's just beautiful up there last weekend, or Monday and Tuesday.
You're not getting older. You're just growing up.
I'm hoping. But it's just, it's awesome up there right now, and the colors are just blowing up.
That's, a lot of people headed up, I think, last weekend and the weekend before.
Yeah.
And I wondered if they were going early.
I think last weekend was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But from Sunday till Tuesday or Wednesday, I couldn't believe the change.
So people should get in the car and head north today.
I would. Yep. Get in the car. Gas is $2.20 a gallon. Get going.
Yeah. I have to laugh every time we think about it's down, to $2. And I'm thinking.
I remember it, 83 cents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I miss those days.
I wish those days were back.
Yeah, well, if I went to Southern Illinois right now, I could probably get them for under $2.
Well, that'd be worth the trip.
Oh yeah, Well, and there's big deer there. But nothing beats this great state.
So, I gotta ask you. Have you heard about? There's a Zeeland man that shot a sow with cubs.
Yeah, and actually, the first time I saw who it was, they had him on the news up north when I was there. I get like 3 channels, and they did a big news report on it.
Oh, really?
That kind of upsets me.
Which part? That they did the news report? That they did
the news report. I know.
To make a big deal of it.
Yeah. It's
how does that? Okay, so yesterday Dan had me come in and talk about.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks for returning the phone calls. Yes. Yeah. First of all, you interrupt me at 6:00 at night while I'm deer hunting, and then I call him back because it sounded important. So I said, "Hey Dan, I'm in the tree stand, but call me back anytime." Okay, bye. So then I call him the next day. Hey Dan, this is Tim. How's it going? Call me back. Never.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That just happened.
That did. Yeah. You called him out.
I did.
You called him out.
I'm expecting to hear a phone call from Dan on the air now.
You think you are? Caitlin's been waiting for him since 5:00.
Uh-oh.
He's probably still sleeping.
Oh, well, I say we call him and wake him up.
He's got to do the Grand Valley game tonight, so he's probably trying to get enough rest to be able to stay up.
I still say we call him and wake him up. Say, Dan, where was my phone call?
We could.
You're on the air.
You got his home number?
No, I got his cell phone.
Well, let's give out his number.
Just post it out here.
Yeah, let's give out his number.
No, don't do that.
No, okay. Caitlin said go ahead and do it, but we decided not to. I'm kidding.
I'm going to get in trouble.
I know.
Have you ever seen anybody get embarrassed on the radio?
Red, though. She's worried now. Dan, she was the one that said don't do it.
So
heck, I think I'm in trouble now.
Yeah. So, okay, there's all different things you can find on the web about this guy.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people, misspellings of his name.
Yeah.
Dan and Mary Ellen couldn't pronounce it yesterday, so I had to tell them how to pronounce what they spelled for me, and they spelled it different than what I see on the report I have here.
Yeah.
So people are misspelling it and everything else. But anyway, The whole thing of it was they wanted to know how does somebody know that someone shot the wrong animal?
I think there's a lot of different ways. One of the things is word of mouth.
Well,
somebody's talking a lot.
Well, there's, I guess if you're a poacher, then you're worried about people that talk.
Right.
But he made a mistake. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He made a mistake. Because I talked to a couple guys last night that have a closer connection to this individual. And he said that the property owner knew there was a sow and cubs.
Yep.
And reported them. That was one story that came out because he knew that the sow got shot with the one that had the cubs. Another story was that he shot the sow and then the cubs came back into the bait pile, and so he reported it himself. I don't know the full story, and I don't know that we'll ever know the full story unless we get a hold of Troy Van Gelderen, who is the DNR officer in Oceana County who ticketed him. So maybe one day we'll be able to get the full story.
Well, and
but he maybe can't talk until the trial's done either.
Right. And there's a lot of different
I threw out Troy's name because Troy used to be an officer in Zeeland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
I remember when he moved when he got the appointment to be in with the DNR.
Nice. Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of different views on what's going on right now.
Okay, so let's take one story. Bear with cubs comes into the bait pile. Bear with cubs leaves bait pile. Another bear comes into the bait pile. Man shoots. Cubs come out of the woods to the bear that was down. Now, one person said, how do you know the difference between those bears?
You know what?
I told them unequivocally that Tim Becker could tell you the difference between those bears.
All right.
At any point in time.
Let me address this. You know what? I've bear hunted a long time. I've seen lots and lots of bears. And
you sure they weren't the same bear over and over?
They could have been.
Oh, so I was wrong.
Right. Bears,
you couldn't tell.
You can tell.
Okay.
But not to, an uneducated bear hunter. A lot of people draw a Michigan bear tag. That's their first hunt.
Right.
A sow and a boar have a couple differences.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you how many hundreds of times I've gotten it wrong. Not saying that I've never shot a sow with cubs. No hunter out there is going to hopefully purposely shoot a sow with cubs.
And leave the cubs to their own devices.
Right. And you know what? And that's a whole nother thing we'll get into the next segment.
Okay.
But I personally, I don't know this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hunter, and mistakes like that happen. I hope what has happened is that he made that mistake. He reported it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a very easy thing to happen with bears. Bears, male and female, look almost identical. There's a couple characteristic differences that unless you're around bears all the time, and I'm around bears quite a bit, and I still can get it wrong. So can the outfitters. Most of the times I've experienced literally hundreds of sows with cubs in the woods. And from my own knowledge of them, most of the time the cubs come in first. And if not, they're following their mom.
Okay.
So for a bear to come in without its cubs,
You'd think fair game.
Well, no, not necessarily. I watch the bears for a little bit before I harvest them. Unless a great big, huge 500-pound boar comes in, then okay, that's a big bear. But
no need to watch this one.
Yeah, for the most part,
Well, let's talk a little bit more about it in the next segment here. The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Westenbrook Mower, where they service what they sell. All units are ready to use when they leave the store, and Westenbrook submits your warranty information so you don't have to. Stop into the Holland or the Jenison store, check them out on your computer at westenbrookmower.com, or call them at 616-396-5733. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on the Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Michigan Firearms, your personal protection and concealed carry specialists, and Earth Solutions at 616-566-0390. Call Earth Solutions for extreme brush hog service to stump grinding to grading and driveway excavation with crushed concrete or asphalt. Matt will also cut and clear your shooting lanes for this season. Have you got any shooting lanes left that you need to get taken care of? You better get them taken care of really soon. Give my buddy Matt a call at 616-566-0390. We're back, ready to talk with you. Give us a call, 395-1450. Excuse me. And, hey, weigh in on this. We're kind of curious, and we're not trying to flambaste the Zeeland man. We're trying to sort out for people what could have happened, what might have happened, kind of the scenarios of what things are going on. Man gets charged for shooting a sow with cubs, a bear sow with cubs, and we don't know for sure if he turned himself in, if someone else turned him in. We're running through the scenarios here. It had to kind of be a bugger because originally the DNR officer was a Zeeland police officer. He may have even known the man.
Yeah.
And, when the man that shot the bear was a teenager, he may have known him.
Same area.
Yeah. It's hard to say. And it could have been tough to have to write that citation. Now, I got to say a couple things about him writing that citation. And it's going to take a little while to unfold all this. But while I was elk hunting up in upper Michigan, between Atlanta and Gaylord, I had a section that was a section where a lot of people don't get into, or in that section, people get drawn, but a lot of people don't get into a lot of the areas. So it was very rare that I would see somebody. So I can remember the people that I saw while I was up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there were 3 gentlemen. They were in their 70s, and by now they're either passed on or they're just about 90.
Yeah.
But they were, one of the 3 gentlemen was drawn for a cow elk. The other 2 came along. It was like a last hurrah for them. There was 3 buddies, and they were.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
grumpier old men.
Yeah, exactly. But they weren't grumpy. They were kind of cool guys.
Oh yeah.
They were interesting to talk to, and they were happy. But they couldn't travel on foot like I could then. Let me say then.
Then, yes.
And sorry about that.
Should be.
Well,
Again?
yeah.
Apologize.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. On with your story, Thomas.
Anyway, they had been hunting for a while, days wise, during that hunt. And it was a December hunt.
Oh, cold.
They were, it was cold. It was 5 below to 5 above, day and night.
I'd have been
entire
in the cabin.
I imagine you would have. That year, I was the only person staying in the woods.
No kidding. Oh, you were in your trailer, weren't you?
I was the only person out in the woods. Everybody else had a hotel with a hot tub. Anyway, the DNR officer became a good friend of mine.
Yeah, he kept stopping in to make sure you were
he
alive.
Did. He did.
You alive? Okay.
He'd drive by, and if he saw me by my fire at night, okay, good.
Yeah.
So these 3 older gentlemen are out there hunting, and together they're making choices and so on, and working with each other. Anyway, the buddies, they were looking through binoculars, and the hunter was looking through his scope. They all confirmed the elk they were looking at was a cow. He shot it. They went and approached it. When they got there, it was a spikenhorn.
Ooh.
Obviously, they may have been looking at different elk. The thrashings may have disguised the antlers.
Same as with the whitetail. Yep.
And they were like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
we got a problem. So they went right to the DNR station, told the DNR officer. DNR officer, he's not allowed to make that judgment that says you're guilty or you're not guilty, but
Right.
he has to write the citation for the event that he witnessed
Yep.
or was told about.
Yep.
So he writes the citation. Well, he could have got the same things that this guy that shot the bear, which 90 days in jail, $1,000 in fine, $1,500 of restitution, loss of hunting privileges for the remainder of the year, and 3 more years beyond that. So that can be equated to up to 4 years. But it would be a remainder of this year and 3 more years that he'd lose those rights to hunt. And so this happened, and he had to go to court. He had a court date and everything else. He had to go to court. He actually had to pay. He had to pay a restitution. It was an honest mistake. He went and told somebody, doesn't get to keep the animal, went and told somebody, you had to pay restitution, did not have to go to jail. And I think he did lose a couple of years of hunting rights over this mistake that he had made. Now, there's a couple things that relate to the bear hunt, because
It sounds like the exact same thing, just different animal.
pretty close.
If that's the way that it unfolded.
Yeah,
with this
and
bear hunt.
you know what? These guys, explained everything that happened. I didn't see any dishonesty in the way the elk hunters.
Yep.
And I don't know that the bear hunter, because my understanding was the first story was that, no, I didn't do that. And then the second, it was, yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't talked to the man directly.
Right. And here's my feelings on the elk hunter.
Uh-huh.
Accidents were made in the woods. And it happens. As far as the fines go, that elk hunter probably didn't complain one bit. He took that fine because he knew it had happened. Okay, accidents happen out there.
Right.
I did break the law. I'll pay that ticket. to take away his hunting privileges when he was honest, I disagree with that.
That's the part that I
Right.
disagreed with.
I disagree with that, and I do have a problem with that. But
The part that I had a tough time with, though, with paying the fine for restitution of the animal,
Yep.
he didn't get to keep the animal.
right.
And I had a tough time with it, but then it was explained to me by one of my friends that's a DNR officer. He said, well, think about it. If another guy's poaching and he has to pay restitution and we let him have the animal when he pays restitution, why not shoot the big one that he's not supposed to shoot? He has a cow tag and he goes and shoots a 6x6. Good point, but I don't know that you're going to...
There's also a difference between a...
I don't know that guy's not spending 90 days in jail.
Sometimes you got to say, okay, yeah, but I don't know. I got a problem with that. And I do have a problem, and I've been on the same spectrum, which we'll talk after break, with a bear in this state. Not that I shot it in the state. I had harvested a bear in British Columbia. Somebody had taken a picture of it. Now, it was a very large bear. In the spring, it was 650 pounds.
Wow.
Right. And somebody had somehow gotten the picture of it. Let it be a friend.
That's while you were
that
holding the
wanted
setup and smiling.
Right. But, this was something I was very proud of, and somebody got a picture of it and wanted to post it in the Grand Rapids Press as, this bear is a record book bear. We're proud of this gentleman, this young man. I was only 18, I believe, at the time. And it was the very next day. And on that article, it had blown the Grand Rapids Press up about, people called me a terrorist.
A terrorist?
A terrorist. They told me
so
I
you're
was...
on the watch list?
Oh,
Man,
probably.
we go from conspiracy
Yep.
theories to you being
Yep.
on the watch list.
People
But I'll tell you
hated
what.
me.
Let's talk about that when we come back. The Farmers Co-op Elevator in Hudsonville is your food plot headquarters with over 40 different seed varieties to choose from, providing in-house soil testing as well as fertilizers, lime, and equipment to plant, maintain, and get maximum performance out of your food plot. Visit the Farmers Co-op at 3302 Prospect Street in Hudsonville. For a complete list of products and services, check them out online at fcelevator.com. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to the Outdoor Show, brought to you by Powderhorn Guns and Archery for all your arrow knocking, gun cocking, fish hooking, flag waving, stand up and sink, God bless America hunting and fishing needs. Lines are open. Give us a call at 395-1450. We're back, ready to answer your questions right here on the Outdoor Show. I point to a button, she hits the button and kills the music.
Yeah, I know.
We got a caller on the line? We're not sure?
Yeah, it's me, Tom.
Oh, there you are. How are you, Bill?
Good. Just a comment.
Uh-huh.
There was an incident earlier than that where a bear was killed by a car.
Okay.
And they left 3 cubs also. But they were old enough to be on their own. I think in this case, it's probably because the cubs could not survive on their own.
Uh-huh.
I think they were taken to be cared for by the DNR, feds, stuff like that. Okay. So I think that makes it a little bit tougher on the gentleman. I'm not saying he's guilty or not, but I think that the difference between that and being hit by a car.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, if that yeah.
It was a mistake.
Yep.
Wow.
With a car with 3 cubs also, but they were big enough to survive on their own. Now maybe in this case, being younger, they could not survive on their own.
Well, there's an article I'm looking at, and it says that this was a collared bear. He had a collar on him, and the biologists were studying that bear.
Yeah,
that's
true too.
Which is not illegal to shoot a collared bear, but it's illegal to shoot the female accompanied by cubs. The biologists that were studying this said that, and here it says there's 3 cubs. But it says that they were born earlier this year, early enough that they're right now they're old enough to have a good chance of surviving the winter.
Oh, okay.
So at this point it must be an iffy thing. It's kind of one way or the other, not sure, but they think they're old enough to survive the winter, which is.
they didn't say that on report that I heard. That's what I was wondering if they were too young to survive on their own.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I heard conflicting reports. There were all different reports, and the name was spelled wrong. People don't know how to spell Dutch names, Bill. What's up with that?
Yeah. But
Well,
there are rules out there, so.
yes,
Oh,
there
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yes, there are.
But it can still be a mistake.
Yep.
Yes.
You know.
But you still got to pay for your mistake. I do agree
that's
with
true.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No different than a traffic ticket.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
that's an interesting perspective, Bill.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you calling.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you
you,
very
Bill.
much.
And anybody else that has a view of this, feel free to give us a call. It'd be nice to hear some other views. I guess I just want to say something real quick.
But before you say that, though, Bill's point of view was really accurate. A car hits bear.
That's a complete accident. You
It's
can't
complete
control
accident.
a bear
No, the
running
bear
out
walked
in front
out
of
in
you.
front.
There is a difference between
Right,
actually shooting
the
one.
perspective.
Right.
The perspective is there.
Right.
And the bear walked out in front of it, the car, and the person can't stop that.
Right.
But if this bear walked back to the bait pile without the cubs were in the thicket. And on bait piles, more bears roam in and out. When one bear leaves, another bear comes in. How does he know the difference?
There's so many gray areas in this that, unfortunately, we don't know exactly what happened. So we can't, specify onto that. But
we can sit back and drink our Biggby coffee and talk about it.
Well, I know. Yes, because it's great.
We can talk about it, tomorrow while we're watching those NFL games.
Right.
After you go on to Facebook and search Biggby Holland and then put in your picks for the week. And then you can, try to win free coffee and other prizes. I know a couple weeks they gave away $100 gift certificates for the top winner for the picks. That's Biggby Holland, Facebook. Biggby Coffee. I love my Biggby.
So are both Bigby's doing that, though? Or is it
Yes.
just the one on Douglas?
No, it's both Bigby's.
Okay.
It's Biggby. They're Biggby Holland.
There's a
two
Biggby
stores.
by my shop. Did you know that?
I knew that.
Did you?
You didn't.
But anyways, here's my outlook on it. When I shot this great big bear, very proud of it.
Yeah, you were talking about that before break.
Somebody put that into the Grand Rapids Press. Still don't know who did it, but they did it as a good thing. Look what this fellow hunter of ours has done. This
They were
is
saying,
wonderful.
cool, look at.
And hundreds of responses came into letters to the editor or whatever it was in the Grand Rapids Press about how awful I am and how I could harvest such a beautiful animal and blah, 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 blah.
It's too bad you didn't have powder horn at that time.
I know.
People would have been stopping in and, throwing things through your windows.
Right. And I'd been like, oh, buy a gun. No, but one thing that mind boggled me was this went on for weeks and not one hunter called to stand up for me and say, listen, this was done legal and everything. And it was weeks until one of the local gentlemen, and I'm not going to say a name just because I haven't talked to him about it. He called up and more or less said, I know this young hunter. He hunts with me, and he did everything legally, and I'm proud of him. And more or less said that I'm upset that no other hunters stood up for him. And then after that, they started to do that. Well, as a fellow hunter, I've got to believe that this gentleman that had harvested this bear, sow and cubs could have come in, could have left. Say an hour later, the sow came back in, waited around a little bit, harvested it. I'm upset at how much coverage this has gotten in the medias, newspapers, online. This is a accident that has happened, and now this guy's.
But that's how they sell their commercials. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh no, I agree, and it bothers me
on the shoulders of other people.
I was just up north Monday, Tuesday, and I came home Wednesday. And Tuesday night, this was on the news up there at 10 or 11 o'clock. We were sitting there, and I was upset about it because this gentleman has shot a bear with sows, or with cubs. I bet he's willing to take that fine and any consequence that comes with it. But now his name and his reputation and maybe his job is in jeopardy because of this.
Oh,
And that bothers me. And as a hunter, I want to say, you know what? And as a bear hunter, it's tough to determine a boar from a sow, and a lot of people won't agree with me on this, but I got your back, buddy. Accidents happen in the woods. Take your fines. Be happy. But I feel more hunters need to kind of stand up for it and say, listen, the media is just throwing this out of proportion.
I think people need to understand that you're not saying they need to stand up for him and say he's right.
Right.
But they need to protect.
But they need to protect that and the hunting.
And
I think we have a caller.
We should take the call.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know we had a caller.
Good morning, caller. How are you?
Morning, Tom and Tim.
Hey, morning.
Hey, Randy. How are you?
Pretty good. This sounds like the exact same thing when I was sued for farming.
Uh-oh.
We were here for 40 years. Ravine's Golf Club moves in, sues us for making too much noise, which is protected under the Michigan Right to Farm Act.
Mm-hmm.
And we even had the MDA out, Michigan Department of Agriculture. They gave us a letter saying we're following the GAMPs. And we were in court for 3 years, 9 months, and 14 days. No one would help us because the Republican Party was bribed. And I can prove that. All you got to do is go to newsmeet.com, and you'll see that Craig Weirda paid the Republican Party $10,000. And I could not get help from anybody and didn't hear from Farmer One out there.
And that's wrong. All farmers should have come.
exactly.
Yeah, all farmers should have come forward to be with you.
Right.
Right. And I'm not calling anybody out, but I'm saying as something that we do, and as you as a farmer, I'm a small stage farmer compared to what you were. But
I was quite small, too.
Right. And I would have been there for you because, first of all, they're going after you. What's next? They're going to come after something. Right.
Exactly.
And now in this could spark something for them to come after bows or guns, or this bear was harvested with this gun. We should eliminate that gun. Well, that's where us hunters need to come in and stay together with it.
And I found out that afterwards that the judge, Harry Beach, this is in Allegan County, he was given a lifetime membership for throwing the case. Yeah, we never had a trial. 3 years, 9 months, and 14 days, never had a trial.
Jeez.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, and even after he was dismissed when I became a county commissioner, he still wrote a court order. Didn't matter to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The whole system is just as crooked and corrupt. All they look at is the check.
This is true.
Yep.
That happens.
Well, see, that's Randy. That's the exact same thing. Just it's farming instead of hunting, and I don't understand why somebody would not have even just said something to say, "Listen, I'm a farmer and I support you."
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying to the gentleman, and I don't even know his name,
I've been purposely not saying it.
We don't need to say it.
I don't think it's right to.
I don't either. But I don't know his name. But gentlemen, if you're listening, I got your back.
And it's not that we're saying
that
it's
what
okay
you did is right.
That you did it. It's what we're saying is you're a hunter. Hunters make mistakes.
Stick together.
Other people make mistakes too, and there's no reason for the mainstream media to hammer him.
Yep.
So to speak.
In my way, if you hunt with a gun, a bow, a crossbow, a longbow, all of us need to stick together.
Yeah, but even during the whole suit, the judge was telling us how to farm.
He must not enjoy his crops, his beans or anything like that.
And he knows how to farm?
No, he enjoys his golf.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to chuckle at that, Randy. I'm sorry.
You should have invited him out to see if he could start the tractor.
Maybe give him the key to the tractor, right?
I couldn't get any help from him.
Yeah.
I mean,
why is there a deer on this key?
Here, spray this field. I need this sprayed this year.
Yeah. Or even, you don't even got to start it. Just hook that implement up.
I just want him to stick the key in the keyhole in the tractor, because we're talking about tractors that there's no keyhole, Tim.
This is back when you had to push the button. Yeah.
Yep, he'd be out there all day trying to find a keyhole.
Well, wait a minute. I can't make fun of this because I might be standing there scratching my head looking around too.
Because Tim's got a tractor with a keyhole.
Yeah. And he can't say, the farmers can't say they didn't know nothing about it, because it was front page, Grand Rapids Press 3 times, and Holland Sentinel front page.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
No response whatsoever.
I disagree.
People don't want to get involved in many situations like that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nope.
And sometimes, you got to stop worrying about what other people are going to say and stick up for what you believe in.
That's what I was doing.
And that's what you're doing now, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep.
Randy, we got to go to a break. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
your
Randy.
insight.
Hey, guys. Thank
Talk
you.
to you soon.
Bye.
The Outdoor Show is brought to you by Advantage Marine in Zeeland with competitive prices and personalized service to meet all your needs. Repair, storage, winterizing, parts, and more. Call Advantage Marine in Zeeland at 616-748-9235 or stop in and see Dave at 8755 Riley Street in Zeeland. That's at the corner of 88th and Riley on the northeast side of Zeeland. Who knows? You might see me there because I got to go pick up my boat. Lines are open. Give us a call, 395-1450. We'll be back here shortly on The Outdoor Show. Welcome back to The Outdoor Show, brought to you by Michigan Firearms, educating people in the safe and responsible use of firearms since 2001. Michigan Firearms offers education, training, and supply, the best you can find anywhere. Classes are offered regularly. Class sizes are limited. Register early to reserve your spot, 616-218-7328, or find us on your computer at mifirearmsets.com. We're back, ready to talk with you. And give us a call, 395-1450. Now Tim's all riled up because he wants to change the face of media.
Change the face of media. Let's put some positive in the media.
Positive.
Like we are doing right now.
We're trying.
We are.
We're trying.
We are.
We're trying to give the man the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
He made a mistake.
Right.
People make mistakes every day.
Every day.
The fact that he made
except
a mistake.
for me.
Oh, okay. But he's gonna go to court. He's gonna do his restitution for that mistake.
Right.
What I can gather from what you're upset about is how the media throws it out there and Hunter's the bad guy.
Well, they put a picture on the news of it looked like a mugshot. I mean, give me a break. Come on.
Was it like the two pictures together, one facing?
No, it was one. But I wish
was he holding up the numbers?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But it was a picture of the guy, and I totally disagree with it. He hasn't even been, as far as I know, he hasn't been sentenced yet on anything, or convicted, I guess I should say.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No,
right
no,
here
no, and
because,
I
you know,
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Right.
but wait a minute, you're a vegetarian.
Right. Yes. Uh-oh.
That has nothing to do with it.
That bear was
Okay,
eating your plants.
So sometimes media outlets only have like one picture that they can use, and
Okay.
and a lot of times they get that from the Kent County courthouse or whatever, you know.
Well,
No.
okay, I
So-
understand that.
So it's not like they can just.
It depends
go,
on where they get it from.
Right. So,
It's not like the guy wants to sit there and say, "Okay, take a picture. I'll smile for you."
Right.
No, and I
So-
understand that, but I guess what I'm getting to is he hasn't been sentenced, right? Hasn't been sentenced yet?
No.
So why
he's got
should
an
they even-
arraignment. He was supposed to have an arraignment on October 14th. He admitted to something or whatever, or gave something up. Anyway, he's got to go to court November 3.
Okay.
And that's when they're going to do the charges or whatever.
Okay. And I guess what I'm looking at there is he hasn't been sentenced. Nothing's gone on. The media shouldn't even be really into it. They found something that they could go with. How many people are caught probably each day in the state poaching deer? That doesn't hit the news. But because it was a black bear.
And they're doing it deliberately.
Right. And this could have been an accident. Mm-hmm. And it really bothers me because it doesn't just put a bad name on him, which it could take years for him to recover from this. You know, it gives a bad name on hunters. And, you know, accidents happen. And accidents happen with anything that you do.
It was probably just a slow news day for them. So
You're probably right. Yeah. Hey,
So
we
they're
got to
just
fill
like,
the
"Oh,
10 and
let's throw
11
this out
o'clock
here."
spot. Let's go after this bear guy. And, you know.
I'm just proud of you, Tim, because you want to change the face of
I do. Stop being so negative.
media.
Stop trying to make everything terrible.
Because it was almost a shocker for you when you were upset with the media, and I said, wait a minute, Tim, we're the media.
It wasn't a shocker, but I thought, no. It just, hunters need to stick together. Vegetarians need to stick together.
Well, yeah.
I mean, them deer
against the bears that are eating their food.
Technically, deer and bear are eating your food. You should definitely go buy a license. Save the vegetables. We got a call. Hello, caller.
Hey, what about the gun shop in Milwaukee?
Oh.
Your take on that?
Oh, I got a take on that one.
I don't know anything about this.
You don't?
No.
How can you
I've been in the woods.
how can you get after mainstream media if you don't know anything about this?
Well, let's talk about this so I can catch on.
How about you want to stay on the line or you want to hang up and listen to us on the air?
I'll listen.
Okay, thank you very much for
Hey,
the call.
thank you.
I was kind of thinking how this relates to what you were saying about people supporting other people and so on.
Yep.
Now, what happened in Milwaukee was two officers, now I don't have all the dates and everything, but 2 officers got shot by a man when they stopped him for riding his bike on a sidewalk.
The man that was riding his bike shot the officers?
Yes, shot both of them in the face. One guy lost an eye and part of his brain, and the other one has particles of the bullet lodged into his cheek yet from getting shot in the mouth.
Ouch.
Okay? These officers sued because of what happened. This young man that was on the bicycle was too young to purchase a gun. So he paid his buddy $40 to purchase the gun. His buddy bought the gun from the gun shop. Now, if someone came into your gun shop and they bought a gun and you don't know their intentions, you can't control that.
Right.
But here's the thing that really got me is what I heard in the news, right or wrong. They had it on video. The guy went to buy the gun, and he put in there that he was buying the gun, that he wasn't buying the gun for his own self.
He's busted.
He shouldn't be able to buy the gun right there, right? That should stop it right there.
As a gun shop owner, that stops the transaction. And if you pass that through, I think you're held liable for what is going on.
Well, he was.
Yep.
The officers were awarded money because what he did is he said, "Well, you have to buy it for yourself. You can't. You may change that." And the guy changed it on the form.
Oh, whoops.
On video, they caught him and they let him change it. That's what would be called a straw sale.
Straw purchase.
And
because he probably admitted to buying it for somebody else. Same as if somebody comes to me and says, "I'm going to buy."
Yeah, he did.
I want to buy this gun for my 10-year-old son. No, I'm sorry.
Well, there is the gifting to family. That's actually part of what you can do. But you're
not on a 4473.
Not supposed to sit there and say, "No, I'm not buying it for myself." Yeah, you're buying it for yourself to gift it, and that is a legal thing.
Not through an FFL.
Not for telling you that I'm buying it for somebody else, but you're allowed to buy one to gift to your children, your immediate family.
I don't know how that works outside of the FFL.
Right. You still have to put down that you're buying it for yourself on the 4473.
Okay, so continue with the story.
But the thing is, this guy, this is kind of a contrasting point. I'm not standing behind that gun shop owner. Not when he's caught on video doing that. Now, if he had sold the gun to the guy who came in and just outright lied and filled out everything correctly, and he purchased the gun, and then he went and gave it to his buddy who gave him money for it, that lays on them, not the gun shop. But when the gun shop says, "Oh, hey, you got to buy it for yourself, so go ahead and change this form," so he could make that sale, I'm not standing behind him.
Yeah. See, and I agree with that, and it's one of them things on that sheet. It says, "Are you the actual purchaser of this?" And I've had people before on other questions mess up. So, I hit the wrong one. I'm sorry. Well, what do you got to do with that? I'm sorry. Nothing you can do.
You can't have it. Mm-hmm. You filled it out wrong. It's a tough one.
It is because everybody's liable for their actions. I guess that should be what goes away with it. And take what you got coming.
Right. You make a mistake, you still have to pay for a mistake.
Do you know what the legal amount of bait is supposed to be on the ground?
2 gallons.
I did not know that. I honestly did not.
We talked about this, Tim.
Yep.
You cannot claim ignorance of the law.
I did not know that, and I had probably about 5 gallons out because I remember something of 5 gallons. And I had a conservation officer come to me and say, "I have an anonymous..."
What they were saying was that's a 5-gallon bucket, 1/3 full.
Exactly. Right. And he said that to me, and he said I had an anonymous complaint about too much bait. And I said, okay. And he says, "Do you know the legal limit?" I said, "I honestly don't." And he told me it. And I said, okay, I broke the law on that, not purposely breaking the law on that. And I was willing to take my consequences. But just so negative.
Oh, Tim, are you gonna cry?
Listen here, vegetarian.
Tim.
I am taking care of the deer eating your food.
Okay, real quick.
Yep.
The music's about to start to kick us off the air.
Is this it? Oh, it is.
Yeah, we're done, man. You asked me to look up, and
Yes.
I'm looking.
Is it in the Michigan?
It's not. Well, it should be a little more apparent if it's here. I'm just perusing through it.
Because I've never seen it in the Bear Handbook saying that you
I'm looking
cannot
at the
shoot
Bear
a solid
Guide.
Cubs.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now.
I'm not saying it, but I've never
seen it. It's not very
seen
apparent.
it. Right, and
Because
that's something we should know.
Yeah, it should be much more apparent.
Hey, good luck out there, everybody.
Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week here on the Outdoor Show.